Suella Braverman goes full Trump with an appeal in the US to make Britain great again. We're going to read into this more from The Independent, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Independent with the headline that Suella Braverman goes full Trump with an appeal in the US to make Britain great again. The former Home Secretary gave her latest anti-immigration speech in Washington, D.C. amid speculation she could become pivotal in bringing the Tories and Reform UK together. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, it's entirely possible, I'm not saying it is, it's possible that by the time you see this video that maybe she will announce switching to Reform. I don't think so. There is that speculation going around again, but I don't think it's going to happen, but I could be wrong. On it. What I do know is that Suella Braverman, the former Home Secretary, is absolutely crazy. She's absolutely off the plot. And here, you know, you can just tell that she, like so many other of these politicians or so-called politicians, are desperate for your attention. That's exactly what she's trying to do. I mean, her literally out there with she had a US pin badge as well. I mean, what is she trying to do? Like, I don't know why she's trying to appeal in the US when, if you ask anybody in America, they probably never like Nigel Farage. They were like, who? Like, they're not interested in her. And it's a bit of a joke that she went all the way out there. And I think she's trying to do what Kemi Baganoff is trying to do, and that is appeal to Donald Trump to make it to separate themselves from Nigel Farage, or try to be a bit like Nigel and try to be clever and whatnot. And it's just like, it's not working. Like, this is not working. I don't like where this is going. I do hope that I hope she just becomes nothing more than an echo chamber and just continues to talk a lot of nonsense. I really wish that she would not be given airtime on TV, considering the damage that she has done to the UK with her language and with her actions when she was in government. But unfortunately, we have a mainstream media that wants to give people like her space, attention, and in their time, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's quite a shame that she didn't lose her seat. I'd like to hope that she would lose her seat at the local elections whenever her seat is up for grabs. But to be honest, I'm not really holding my breath on that. But at the same time, she might end up like Liz Truss, where she goes around starting making loads of speeches and whatnot, and trying to broaden her appeal, which is what could happen in doing so as well. But this whole make Britain great again, well, we want Britain to... Well, you might want to make Britain great again, but a lot of people aren't feeling great about Britain right now because of your government, for the record. So, Suella Braverman has become the latest Tory right-winger to seek a relaunch of her political career in the US, with a major speech appealing for help to make Britain great again. Following in the footsteps of the ex-MP Liz Truss, the former Home Secretary who was sacked by Rishi Sunak was given a speech at the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C., accusing Keir Starmer of breaking the special relationship. They gave her a platform in America? Wow. She claimed that there is a need to restore sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Protect British values. What's our British values? Are you talking about British tea? Are we talking about the royal family? Are we talking about, you know, fish and chips? What values specifically are you talking about? To end the mass migration as a fundamental step to make Britain great again. And who was the former Home Secretary that could have done something about migration? Oh, that's right. It was you, Suella. It was you. And you really think people are stupid enough to forget that? Well, don't worry, Suella. We will make sure and remind people about your role as Home Secretary. The location of her speech at a think tank involved in complying the controversial right-wing Project 2025 policy document for the Trump administration appears to be symbolic of her hopes of a political comeback. The speech at the annual Margaret Thatcher Freedom Lecture comes amid speculation she could become a pivotal figure in bringing Reform and the Tories together in some sort of deal to defeat Labour. Oh, God. Miss Braverman recently denied that she was about to join Reform when her husband, Rao, publicly quit the Tories to join Nigel Farage's party. But she has been coy about her intentions and has remained at distance from the new leadership under Kemi Badenoch. In a tug-thumping speech to remind her audience of her right-wing credentials, Miss Braverman declared that the special relationship between the US and the UK lies in tatters, all thanks to Keir Starmer and his weak globalist establishment first, Britain's last policies. What? Okay. Ms. Braverman said, under Keir Starmer, the UK is no more likely than ever to worship the altar of the punch-lift net zero policies, bend the knee at the cross of dissident notion of human rights and submit to the will of the supernaturalist institutions rather than sticking up to the UK's national security and long-term ally. She claimed that there is a battle for freedom in the UK. What on earth is she talking about? Superstitional institutions. What? Distortion notion of human rights. You mean the human rights that you took away from lots of people as well? You took away human rights from Britons, never mind from immigrants, you. No wonder the special relationship lies in tatters, she continued. Because freedom is in crisis in the UK, specifically, of course. We have an electoral system, democracy and a rule of law, she said. Look below the surface, and our liberties are being shaken to the core. Because in the UK, we are in our own battle, a battle for courage and common sense, fighting against forces of appeasement and progressivism. Okay, she sounds like someone who needs her pills, if I'm honest. The former Home Secretary, whose parents are both immigrants, returned to a familiar theme of her ministerial career, blaming mass migration for Britain's problems, and claiming it caused an existential crisis for the country. She said, in the name of multiculturalism, politicians of the three main parties have consistently refused to address the elephant in the room, that millions of people coming into the UK do not have its best interests at heart and refuse to assimilate or integrate. I wonder what political party you've been a part of. Oh, was it one of the three main parties? Indeed it was. Indeed it was. People forget that. Too many immigrants in the UK refuse to learn English, and many do not want to embrace the Judeo-Christian culture that defies the UK. No, we are a multicultural country. We are not a Christian country. We are multicultural now. People forget that. Britain will never go back to a one faith. We will always be a multicultural nation. With all of its wonderful freedoms and opportunities, too many migrants coming to the UK today just want to take, whereas the controlled immigration of yesteryear was much more about giving. Miss Braverman has faced repeated criticisms over her views on immigration, once branded crazy rhetoric that normalises the politics of Mr Farage by a former Home Office aide. I think there was allegations of her bullying her staff in the civil service as well. There was allegations of that as well, just to kind of add that context to that. I don't know how real that was, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was that context as well. So yeah, that was kind of to add to it as well. If I'm honest, it's just crazy. She's absolutely off it, you know, really is, by the rhetoric. But I covering this, guys, for those who are wondering, why am I covering this story? I'm covering it to remind you that she, like other politicians, she's still an MP. And she can still cause damage. She can still cause rhetoric. She can still cause harm in British politics. And even though she's made this speech over in the US, that can echo back here. And it will. And her voice can harm and cause disinformation and misinformation out there. She is a threat to Britain. I'm just going to call her what she is. I think she's a threat to Britain with her language and her rhetoric. And I think she should be kept well away from politics. And the sooner that she is gone as an MP, the better for everyone. I really cannot stress that. I think she's I think she's a danger. I don't think she's as stupid as Liz Truss is. You can say she's probably as stupid, some people might argue, but I don't think she is. But what do you guys honestly think about Suella Braverman? What do you make of this appeal to the US to make Britain great again? Let me know your thoughts on things that she said and more down in the comments section below. Now, if you found this video informative or helpful to you in any way, shape or form, please hit that like button, be greatly appreciated, and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. If you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or you can join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.